it can be really common when people start out to have this thought or belief that I need to have it all figured out before I can start. And so knowing that that's actually not how it works. So you need to kind of, invest some energy, some soul force, some life force in what is that vision. And sometimes you have lots of clarity, sometimes you don't. But you don't let that lack of clarity stop you from taking the step. And we don't have to know the how. We just need to know that the how is known. And so our work in the journey is what is the next step.
Yes.
And the next step is going to give me information, and that information might be, yes, this is moving in the right direction, or the information might be, oh, that's not quite for me. So I can readjust. And it sounds like that's really part of that process that you guide your clients on is you have that kind of framework, right? And you've been through the steps, and you take people through the steps. And it's similar to kind of what I do as a life coach. I'm not a health coach, so it's a different application, but having that bigger picture, that framework, and knowing that there are steps to take, there is a journey. Each person is going to have a unique experience of that. But really being able to kind of lean into the structure of that.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I like what you said about you don't necessarily know the next step, and you don't have to know the how.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere within me, I found that place to just trust in the process and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And there's that saying, we've got ready, aim, fire, or we've got ready, fire, aim. Right. So I decided I was ready, and I was firing, I was moving forward, but I didn't necessarily know where I was going.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never heard that before. I love that.
Afterwards, I could aim. Right.
Yeah.
And then that would kind of be the straightening up. And now I'm on this path, getting to the health coaching stage. Right.
Mm-hmm,
and then, I keep going on that path down the line. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. And really what's so important here is the action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in any journey to kind of start with a vision of something. And in your case, it's better health, vibrant health, or whatever it is that somebody's wanting and desiring for their life, but to take a step, like take some action. Because the action starts to create that momentum that creates transformation and change. And so how did you, Melissa, develop your capacity to trust the process? Because I think that can be very scary for a lot of people, right? And we have to go into the gym to build muscles. We've got to build our spiritual muscles, our mental muscles to be able to trust that process. So how did you do that? And how do you support your clients in developing the same?
So what was interesting for me early on when I got out of the corporate world is I somehow naturally kind of came back to my own spirituality, which I think got crushed or wiped out or ignored in my corporate years. Now, I lost my father when I was young. I was only 13 when he passed away. And yet he was always with me. And I knew that. And it was like I carried him on my shoulders. And when I had questions or decisions to be made, I could always reach out and get dad's advice, right? Or dad's input. And so when this spirituality came back to me, I realized I'd had that as a child ever since losing him. And I just hadn't used it in a long time. And we all have it within us. It's just the degree to which we've allowed it to be developed. And so I met a fellow at BNI, and he said to me, I think you'd really enjoy this book. And it was The Universe Has Your Back. And it was Gabby Bernstein's book. And I bought it and I read it, and I really enjoyed it. But it wasn't just enjoying it. It was practicing it, right? It was the information in the book isn't any good if you don't start putting things into action. And so I started practicing her suggestions in how you further tap into your spirituality, the universe, et cetera, et cetera. And that is how I learned to trust in the process. And she's since written other books, and I've read all of her books, and I love her work. And they're books that you can go back to and read over and over again. And that is definitely how I strengthened my trust, my ability to trust in the process. And when I'm working with my clients as well, I am asking them up front and letting them know that this isn't necessarily going to be easy. It might even be hard initially. It isn't going to be hard forever. But I'm asking you to trust in the process, because I've taken many, many people through this, hundreds of people through my detox program, for instance. Everyone's completed it and everyone's had profound results. But the first couple days are hard. And so trust in the process, reach out with questions. I have an app that I put people on so they have that direct connection with me, so they know they're supported, they can get their questions answered. I explain how our brain will work against us because it's our best friend and our worst enemy at the same time, being that it's our best friend when it prevents us from stepping in front of a bus, but it's our worst enemy when we're getting into that place of growth and moving outside our comfort zone and doing something different. And our brain will notice that and go, hey, what are you doing?
Hey, no changing, no changing.
Yeah, this is different. Why don't you just come back over here where I know I can keep you safe in
That's
your
right.
comfort zone because you're
Netflix,
here. Right?
Netflix.
Yeah. So I explain this to them and teach them to talk back to their brain. You know, we say we have two ears and one mouth and we should listen more and talk less. Yes, when we're interacting with other people. But I say the opposite when we're interacting with those 70,000 thoughts we have in our head every day. We should talk back to them and listen less, because so many of those thoughts in our brain are not true. And let's face it, would you have any friends if you talk to your friend the way you talk to yourself in your head? No, right? So I explain all of this so that they understand that. So when they do start having those thoughts, they're aware of what's happening and they can speak back to their brain. And then what's really beautiful is that when we create the environment for our body to heal, it starts healing really quickly. And so it takes just, inside the first week, they're starting to notice improvements. Maybe it's better sleep. Maybe it's more brain clarity or memory recall, or the aches and pains are starting to go away, or they're losing weight, or whatever it is. And then they start to develop their own trust in the process. So that's how we get from no trust to their own trust. And they're buying into my belief, right? And I know that I can guide them through this program because I've done it so many times before.
Yeah. That is so important to, when you're looking for someone to support you on your journey, to find someone who you can believe in their believing, especially when you're at the beginning of the journey, or maybe where you're about to make a quantum leap into a new experience or version of yourself. That's where things can feel super, super shaky. So to be able to have someone who's like, are you sure is this really how it's supposed to be? Is this really a good thing? Is this right? To be able to know and believe that, okay, they know that this works. They know that this is how it's supposed to work. I can relax. I can relax in that.
And when we relax into it, that's when the body truly heals.